This week on the Dawg Show, we're going to preview the Georgia Bulldogs versus the Florida Gators. So grab you a cold beverage and let's go. This week, the Georgia Bulldogs head to Jacksonville to face the Florida Gators for the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. This is, depending on who you ask, because it's disputed, it's either the 101st time they've met or the 100th time they've met. Either way, Georgia leads. We're going to go with 101 since this is the Georgia. Georgia leads the series 55-44.
I bet Spurrier wouldn't say that.
2 ties.
So this game is played at the Everbank Stadium, and it is a 3:30 game. It's on CBS with dumbass Gary Danielson with the call.
What's the over-under on Gary Danielson talking about Nick Saban and Alabama? I'm going to go 2 times a quarter, so I'm going to put the over-under at 8.
It's ridiculous.
It'll be a lot.
Or I'm also going to throw an extra one in there. Here you go. I'm going to go over-under of 2 times. He's going to bring up Tua.
In the past.
In the past. He's going to talk about past Alabama and Tua. Oh, my God.
So Saturday's game should be, the weather should be great. It's going to be sunny and about 79 degrees. Florida is 5-2 on the year and 3-1 in the SEC with losses to Utah and to Kentucky. Georgia is currently ranked number 1 for the 19th straight time in the AP Top 25 poll, and this is the 3rd best streak ever, and they are currently undefeated on the season.
Well, the one thing you can say about Florida is that they've won every game against a team that can't run the ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, every game they've won is a pure passing team.
I still don't see how they come back and beat South Carolina, but they did.
I mean, but no, yeah, that was a close game, 41-39. But, I mean, Kentucky's the only team that ran the ball against them and just absolutely controlled the line of scrimmage and ran up and down, drilled them all night long. So is that the blueprint? Is Florida's secondary pretty good?
No, I don't think so. Listen, they give up a lot of explosive plays, and that's one reason why I really like Georgia this week. I mean, I really like them. I think now without Brock Bowers, I think they're going to open it up a little bit.
He's going to have to spread the ball.
I think they're going to open it up a little bit, and Florida is susceptible to giving up those down-the-field, long, explosive plays.
I mean, how are they going to cover everybody? I mean, how are they going to cover Ra-Ra, Dylan?
If Leggett don't get hurt in the South Carolina game, South Carolina probably wins that game. But they took away his only weapon. Leggett was gone. He's hurt. I don't even know if he's playing this week.
Yeah, one-man throw show.
Yep. And Juice Wells was out too, right?
Oh, man, has he even played? I mean, that joker.
He came in and went out.
I don't know what's up with him. But
Well, we're missing Brock Bowers, but that's about all we're missing. Yeah, like Chris said, we are absolutely stacked at wide receiver. Rosemy Jack Saint, Oscar Delp, Dominic Lovett, Ra Thomas, Lad McConkey. We got plenty of weapons at the receiver position, and I could see where Jeff's talking about. I mean, obviously, Bowers took a ton of passes right there at the line of scrimmage and just broke them for yards after catch. So I could see him pushing the ball a little bit further downfield, that 15, 20 yards, and maybe opening up some big plays for big holes for DeJuan Edwards and the Georgia rushing crew to get some running yards in there.
And Carson, too, man. You might see Carson on his wheels this week.
I'd really like to see them work in Dylan Bell. Dylan, I love seeing the ball in that kid's hands. I know he hasn't had a ton of explosive plays, but, man, just the way he plays, the way he moves with the ball, the effort he puts in. There's been plays where he's getting hit early, and he fights for every extra yard. Like, he plays hungry for success.
I mean, you know they're going to come out with Kendall Milton. He's healthy again, right? He's going to be
Milton's
right there
healthy.
to start the game, guarantee you.
He's going to be healthy
Edwards.
for a quarter.
Well, is he, though? Because he just re-injured his knee.
Yeah, I've got the injury report. We can talk about it in a few minutes.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about how Milton's doing. Roger Robinson's back this week, right? And he back this week, so we got Roger Robinson back this week.
Cash Jones.
To help Dejon Edwards. Cash Jones is going to come. If Cash Jones comes in on 3rd and 4, guys, they're throwing the fucking ball.
But we haven't
Florida hadn't picked up on that yet. FYI.
We haven't needed McConkey yet, and he's healthy if he's healthy.
Yeah.
Between him and Delp, they're going to fill the shoes, the best that they can, spread the ball around, and then, like you said, Chris, your boy, and also
Dylan
of course,
Bell plays running back. He'll play in the slot. He'll step out and receiver. I mean, he does a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
And then, defensively for Georgia, they're going to have to try to keep Etienne and Montrell Johnson Jr. in check. Graham Mertz isn't going to beat Georgia. Now, look, he's had a fantastic year. Never would have dreamed he'd be having 1,900 yards and 12 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions this year. But he's played really, really good.
The guy that concerns me the most is Pearsall.
Probably the most underrated receiver right now in college football. I got him in my top 10 receivers in college football right now.
He's pretty good.
He is pretty damn good. I mean, they can throw the ball just about anywhere. If he can reach it, he catches it. He's tough. Like, he takes his shots, hops up, keeps on trucking. I've been impressed with the kid. I've watched him play a couple of games. Of course, he had the one-handed grab a few weeks ago that probably has to go down as the best catch in college football this year. But outside of him, who they got?
Nobody.
Right. Well, Ladd came in 2 weeks ago and really started getting his feet wet with 4 receptions, 58 yards against Vandy. And I think that was a good warm-up game because now that Brock goes down, he'll be they have a chemistry together, him and Carson, and I think that he'll be that go-to third down guy that when you got to have a third, you got to get that first down.
Well, I think if Georgia's got a weakness, it's in a running quarterback, and it is good to see that Graham Mertz has continued his lackluster performance running. He was some ridiculous number I can't even remember that we started the year with. It was 120 rushes for like negative 50 yards or something. Well, this year he's got 41 carries for negative 59 yards.
So he's well on pace.
He's
Are those
averaging
sack
negative.
yards? Are those sack yards?
No, that means he's scampering out of the pocket and gets tackled for loss.
No, sack yards, he's got 147.
Yeah, sacks aren't counted in that. But he's averaging negative 1.4 yards per carry. So he's going to sit in the pocket and at least try to play. He's not going to get out of the pocket and scamper or cause any issues there. So
I think this
But do you think they try it, though? After seeing Auburn do that?
he can't run.
Well, neither could Auburn's quarterback, according to you, and he ran 60-something yards in the first series.
Yeah.
Graham Mertz is a different bird.
Let's talk about Graham Mertz real quick. Let's talk about Graham Mertz and one other quarterback. All right, we got another guy down in Florida who is, I believe, still in the top 5 of the Heisman race.
Third, Jordan Travis.
Jordan Travis,
Yeah.
third. And through last week, I believe these are prior to last week's numbers. He had 1,482 yards passing, 247 yards a game, 63% completion rate, 13 touchdowns to 1 interception. Graham Mertz, who is not talked about at all, had 1,900 yards passing, 271 yards per game, 8.5 yards per attempt, a 76% completion rate with 12 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he can throw it a little bit.
On paper, he looks comparable to Carson Beck.
And he's considered the worst QB in the SEC.
No. That's Peyton Thorne, brother. Peyton Thorne's back.
He is pretty fucking terrible. I was gonna try to come up with something to make you feel better, bro. But yeah, you got me. All right, he sucks. But all in all, let's see. What do we got? We got Georgia by 14.5 with a 47.5 over under. How you feel?
I think this game's too big for Graham Mertz. I'm just going to be honest
It's
with
gonna swallow him up.
I think it's too big for Graham Mertz. Now, I could be dead wrong, and that's fine. I've been wrong plenty of times.
Yeah.
But this is a whole different beast than anything he saw at Wisconsin. Now you got to do this in front of, what is there going to be, 120,000 people? I don't know how big, however many it is, but it's a whole damn bunch.
Yeah, it's got to be, 80,000 or something. It's an NFL stadium. It can't be that big. But
Mid-80s.
it's going to be 50-50, though, or at least it is every year that I win. I'm assuming it's probably going to be 50-50 again this year. But, yeah, 67,858 is capacity at Everbank.
I think it's too big for him. Sunbelt Billy Napier, I don't know if he's ready for this or not. He better be, though, because I think Kirby's ready for this one. I think Kirby's ready to answer a lot of questions, put a lot of questions to bed.
Yeah. Well, because of Georgia's up and down performance based on the eye test this year, I really feel like I feel like it should be a fucking blowout.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Georgia should win this game 40-10.
That's the way I feel.
But it's as a Georgia fan, and you'd be the same way as an Auburn fan. You don't want to go into a game predicting something's going to happen because you always feel like it's a jinx when you're predicting your own team's going to come out and just beat the shit out of the other team. So, but I really truly feel it's going to be like a 40-10 game. Georgia, and they're going to dominate the line of scrimmage. They're going to dominate both sides of the ball, and hopefully just put a beat down on them. And I'd love to see that happen, but.
Well, look, last week they scored 80 points in South Carolina in Florida game.
Yeah.
41-39. They come back and got them. For everything they've done this year, Okay. Yes, they hung in there against Utah. Great game by them. They got beat by 13 points. It was a great game. Graham Mertz had 333 yards passing.
Utah was playing that shoddy 2-quarterback system. They hadn't given the reins to either one of the guys yet.
They jumped on a Tennessee team that I thought was overrated all year.
We said that. If you go back to August in our SEC preview, we said Tennessee is fugazi.
That's right. And then look, so here's a telltale about Florida to me. They played Charlotte. Okay, they beat them 22-7. They only put up 22 points against the Charlotte defense that is legit. What's the kid from Strong Rock?
Demetrius Knight.
Yeah. He just get all player or something? What
He
was
was Defensive Player of the Week in his conference this past week.
AAC, I think they're
Yep.
playing or something. So when they played a team after the fact, after they got in that battle with Tennessee and they outscored them by 13 points, then the Charlotte comes in. Now maybe they were a little sleepy, sleepwalking or whatever. But the point is, they were only able to muster 22 points against the Charlotte Knights team that I think they've only won 1 or 2 games this year.
Right.
So they get Vandy 38-14. That's whatever. Okay? It happens.
It's Vandy.
It's Vandy. Yeah, I mean, they wasn't laying 35 like Georgia was, but they won the game. Kentucky smacked them upside the damn head. I mean, 33-14, they smacked them upside the head. There's your blueprint. If Kentucky can do that,
Pound the rock.
what can Georgia do? Ray Davis had what?
280.
280.
280 yards or whatever.
We should run all over them. And then on top of that, Graham Mertz, he can't move.
No.
What's the worst thing for a quarterback that can't move? You hit him from all angles. You blitz him. You give him no time to throw. Even if we are struggling a little bit in our secondary to cover balls down the field, don't give him time for the routes to get downfield.
Suspect offensive line anyway.
Yeah, their offensive line is doo-doo.
Well, let me talk about the Georgia football injury report this week, and then we'll make
Give it
some
to me,
predictions. You got it. All right. So we all know Brock Bowers is out. He had the tightrope surgery. Brandon Robinson with his knee still out. Let me see. Roderick Robertson, he's questionable this week. He has been practicing, so it'd be nice to see him. Marius Mims with his ankle injury. He went out in the South Carolina game. He has been running drills. So Mims' replacement, Xavier Truss, he went down during the Vandy game. And then they had freshman Monroe Freeling come in. And so they're expecting him to take that place this week. Kendall Milton, with his knees questionable, he had re-aggravated an MCL sprain during the Vandy game. He has been practicing on a limited basis this week. And then they still have Lad McConkey with his back questionable. And I'm just wondering if they're going to keep him on this thing all year. So as far as predictions go, I'm in line with what you guys were saying. I'm at 40-17.
Just to touch on what you said, in case anybody has a fear of our third-string offensive freshman tackle coming in, he's 6'7", 310-pound, 4-star.
Good God.
Out of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina.
Next man up.
So don't get too worried that we're on our third-string tackle, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Well, I think, I don't think Georgia covers. I think we win. I'm going 31-17. I don't know. I hope we just absolutely destroy them. As,
So Florida
we all
covers
think.
by the half point.
Yep.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
giving them half a
Chicken
point.
shit.
I'm giving them.
That is chicken
I'm giving Florida
shit.
covering by half
You
point.
need to pull your dog card.
Oh, my God.
Well, I hope you guys are right. I hope we beat them 100-3. But man, I just know this rivalry game. Florida's going to come in pumped. I don't know. I guess I'm just so used to the Mark Richt years where we would always lose a game that we're supposed to win or play way too many games close that we're supposed to dominate. So we'll see.
All right.
When are they going to get done with this Jacksonville setting? Did they?
The neutral site?
They
Nuke-
just
I hate this.
re-upped it for another 2 years, like over the summer.
I don't think Kirby's a fan. Kirby wants it at home. He wants
I
it.
think they're trying to get it home.
It needs to go back and forth, just like
It
all the
does.
other
It needs to go
rivalry
back
games.
and forth because it's a huge opportunity for
Hell, we'll let
recruits
them
to come to
start.
town.
They can take the first game.
Yeah, we'll go to Florida. Fuck
Yeah.
it.
It's 6 hours for us and what, 2, maybe 3 for them.
Well, to me, I think we're looking at a 38-13 ball game. I mean, you're looking at a Florida Gators team that's only managed to get 11 sacks all year long. They can't put any pressure on Carson Beck. He's going to eat them alive. This is Heisman padding time right here, boys.
I like it. I like it.
38-14.
Well,
38.
unfortunately, they won't even talk about him.
They're
in the
going to
Heisman.
have to. When they don't lose a game and it's getting toward the end of November, and they're still undefeated, and they go mollywop Tennessee up there in Knoxville, and he has another 3 or 4 touchdowns. They're going to have to say something.
Especially when all these other quarterbacks keep, shooting themselves in the foot.
Michael
falling
Penix,
by the wayside.
this is the second game this year that Michael Penix didn't throw a touchdown. You had to lay $1.70 last week to win 100 on him to win the Heisman. Now he's not even, now he's way on down the line. I mean, it's a popularity contest is all it is.
Media hype.
That's
it's
it.
a media
Yeah.
hype contest.
100%.
So
All right.
Georgia goes, they improved to whatever the record will be now. What
8-0.
8-0, and
Yep.
Get ready for Mizzou.
Yep.
Which is going to be
next.
a tough game, I think. We'll
Yeah,
see
we got
what
a tough.
happens.
We got a tough stretch coming up, no doubt. We got Florida, Mizzou. Then is it Ole Miss, Tennessee, or is it Tennessee, Ole Miss? But one way or the other, it's Ole Miss and Tennessee, and then Tech we should beat handily. But 4 of the next games
they
are
got
all
them 7.5 point
nail
favorite.
biters.
7.5 point favorite over Missouri right now.
7.5.
I'll lay that.
We'll see what happens this weekend, and we'll talk about that next week, boys
All right.
and girls.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
All right, guys. Well, that's our show for the week. We really appreciate you tuning in. Please remember to subscribe and to like, and go Dogs.